Overnight, markets and geopolitics are being pulled in opposite directions by artificial intelligence disruption and renewed conflict risk. On artificial intelligence and the technological revolution, the Financial Times reports investors are rotating away from parts of the software sector after an AI-driven sell-off, seeking shelter in more asset-heavy areas such as energy and utilities. A second FT piece frames the current moment for software companies as adapt or die, with AI agents raising questions about whether incumbents can retool fast enough or face being sidelined. The takeaway for today is that AI is no longer just a productivity story. It is reshaping sector leadership and risk pricing in real time. On global conflict, the FT says Donald Trump is weighing a further confrontation with Iran, describing a U.S. military buildup intended to coerce Iran that has not delivered the desired outcome. Al Jazeera reports the White House is reasserting that 2025 strikes obliterated Iran's nuclear program, after a senior Trump aide said Iran is about a week away from having enough material for a nuclear bomb. Separately, the BBC reports new testimony from Russian soldiers alleging fellow troops were executed on commander's orders, underscoring the brutality and discipline pressures inside Russia's war effort as Ukraine marks 4 years since the full-scale invasion. Covered in a Guardian podcast focused on the war's impact on Ukrainian men and families. On global security and stability beyond the major theaters, the BBC reports Mexico is hunting 23 inmates who escaped a jail in Puerto Vallarta during a wave of violence. SBS notes, Australian travelers are being urged to exercise a high degree of caution for Mexico amid cartel-related unrest, with implications for travel planning ahead of major events including the World Cup. On the global economy, the dominant theme is risk management. AI volatility is driving portfolio shifts, while Middle East escalation risk is being treated as a live variable. The FT also argues markets may be looking for an excuse to fall, suggesting sentiment is fragile. Turning to Australia, there are significant political and public safety developments. ABC reports the Prime Minister was evacuated from the lodge following a security incident and taken to another location for several hours. SBS reports Australians are being encouraged to submit experiences to assist the Royal Commission into Anti-Semitism, established after the Bundy attack, marking a new phase of formal evidence gathering and public engagement. In media and communications, ABC reports WIN Network will acquire 9 Darwin, expanding operations in the Northern Territory a little over a year after 9 axed its Darwin TV news bulletin. It's a notable consolidation move in regional broadcasting and local news capacity. On the Australian economy and policy settings, The Guardian reports the fuel tax credit scheme will cost $10.8 billion this financial year, described as about $30 million a day, with calls mounting to wind it back on climate and budget grounds. Separately, the Sydney Morning Herald highlights renewed debate about population growth, with pressures on rents, congestion and cost of living back at the center of the argument. Locally, severe weather is the immediate operational issue. SBS reports violent storms swept Victoria overnight, leaving thousands without power and prompting hundreds of SES call-outs, with danger warnings continuing. Also on the public safety front, SBS reports police suspect they have found remains of kidnapped 85-year-old Chris Bagsarian, taken 11 days ago in what investigators believe was a case of mistaken identity. That's the latest on the material developments to start the day.